Hello, I'm Avery or Hazel or Kylie. You can just pick one, I don't care.
Hello, I am Lily.
On your left.
God damn it.
Welcome to the From the Closet podcast. Today we are covering Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So obviously this podcast will contain spoilers for said movie. If you want to rent, stream, or purchase the movie, you will find a link below to Just Watch, where it will show you all the places you can do that. Our links are focused around the US. However, if you use the Just Watch app, you will be able to it will redirect it to your country's page, and if you use the website, you will be able to change the country from the website page. You can join us next week for Doug Days Season 1 and Star vs. the Forces of Evil Season 3. You can join us next month for Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is releasing in October. Also, in the link below, you will find it. Also, in the description below, you will find a link to our Patreon, where you can get access to episodes before they release. You can vote on future episodes, and you can gain access to episodes of our sister show, Off the Shelf. Also, in the description below is a link to Anchor.fm, which contains every single place that it contains links to every single place this podcast is on, as well as links to our Instagram and our Twitter. With that out of the way, let's get into things.
Actually, I think this is one of the first times we have started an episode of recording before ever actually talking about the movie beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really say much. Okay, so there are people who consider this to be the best MCU movie.
I don't know if it's the best, but I can see why they would say it.
Yeah, like, this is a strong contender. It's definitely top 5 for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. This, a lot of action, a lot of plot, character development. Really it's a healthy mix of everything I like.
Yeah, and like the action scenes are extremely well done too. The character development, particularly with Captain America, where like they basically broke down his entire worldview, and like the whole thing is like he realizes, okay, what I was doing was wrong. I've got to change what I'm doing. He starts off really loyal to the US government, and then by the end he's like, no, fuck SHIELD, it's all going down.
And okay, so throughout the past episodes, you noticed me sort of doubt SHIELD's integrity, and you told me to hang on to that. This is what
Yeah.
you're referring to, right?
Yes, this is what I was referring to. Hydra was infecting SHIELD so deeply that that even one of the members of the World Security Council was a member of Hydra.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. And it doesn't end here. Because I don't know if you caught, but at the end, Nick Fury said something like, "Oh, that they'd been data mining, Hydra's files and found that there's even more Hydra people out in the world."
Yeah. So, remind me. So the last 3 movies that we watched, these were all these events were happening kind of close together, right?
I'm sorry. So much of that audio cut out for me.
So the last 3 movies that we covered, all of those are taking place somewhat around the same time, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So the reason why, S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't, protecting the president or whatever, because they were dealing with their own issue with Hydra.
Yeah.
And
this is also why we couldn't cover Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. until now.
is that focuses on the Hydra?
Well, let's just say the end of season 1 is the fallout from what happens in this movie.
So, I'm actually wondering, does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., does that start before this movie, and then during, the end of season 1, is that, move past this movie?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, speaking of which, we will be covering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I do have it listed. Our first episode on the first season should be out on December 27th.
Okay, so since I was a dumb fuck up, I actually forgot to watch the end credit scenes.
Great, now you're going to make me try to remember what they are. Okay, so one of them showed a couple of Hydra people, and they had Loki's scepter, and there were 2 people that were, kind of imprisoned, and one of them very clearly had super speed, and the other one had some weird magic stuff.
They imprisoned the Flash. For all intents and
And
purposes, that was a
I
joke.
can't remember. I can't remember what the other scene was.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll...
It was okay. It was Bucky showing up at the memorial to Steve Rogers and reading about himself.
Huh. Makes sense.
Sorry, that took me a minute. But yeah, I really love this movie. It's okay, for starters, improving the Captain America suit design was a good call because it looked really goofy in the first Avenger and the Avengers. And I think I can't really pinpoint exactly what's changing about it.
It's just
But it does
looks
seem like
better.
it just looks better.
So there's some questions that kind of left me stumped with this movie. A lot about Nick Fury. Did he pay someone? How? What part of that was staged?
So his death wasn't okay. So the attacks on him were not staged.
Huh.
But his actual death in, that infirmary, hospital, whatever, that was staged.
Okay, so he didn't hire anyone to attack him?
No. He did hire people to hijack his own ship because he suspected some dirty stuff was on that ship. That was the ship that, Cap and Black Widow were attacking at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Did you have any other questions?
No, it was really that.
Okay. Yeah. He basically used a special, like, toxin that Bruce Banner had developed that slowed his pulse down to 1 beat per minute.
Wow. So that's how he
Yeah.
effectively faked his death.
Yeah.
And will so to the rest of the world, Nick Fury has died, right?
Yes. Or at least for a while until we get close to the end of the movie when he reveals himself again.
The movie or the series?
The movie.
Okay. Because at the end of the movie, it revealed his tombstone, so.
I mean, pretty much everyone knows he's alive now. Like, he showed up at the end. Like, he showed up and there was that whole thing where, like, they did his retinal scan on his damaged eye.
Will we ever find out how his.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. And Hydra
But
wasn't able to erase that data on the retina scan.
yeah, they didn't consider the fact that he would have two different uh, retina scans registered into the system. So they only deleted the one that they found.
Okay, that makes sense. So, the Hydra twist, the fact that Hydra from the first Captain America movie, oh, yeah, we're still alive. Honestly, that was huge.
Yeah.
Well, so, the stuff about taking away the research, was that also Hydra's doing?
No.
Hmm,
I will say this. Phil Coulson was not with Hydra.
okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So, of all the events that we know so far, which ones have been orchestrated by Hydra?
Uh, Pretty much nothing that you would know about.
Hmm. Okay.
Like,
Honestly,
yeah,
I mean,
pretty much nothing.
it might have been just a little bit of a spoiler, going into it, but I mean, I knew Nick could not have died in that scene. I don't know how he was gonna, come back alive, but I knew he wasn't gone from the series.
And well, let's actually not talk about specifically why you would know that
I
because
just knew.
that would be yeah, that would be spoilers for later movies.
Yeah, I just know I've seen him in a later movie. I don't know what. I don't know where that memory even came from. I just knew that I wasn't buying his death act.
Yeah. So one thing that I do see people complain about with this
Or
movie
people
is
complain.
the fact that they titled it The Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that
Because,
was a bit weird.
well, see, the problem is a lot of people, they see a subtitle like that, they go to Google and they type in The Winter Soldier, and boom, they get spoiled that the Winter Soldier is Bucky Barnes.
Oh, that's the complaint?
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought the complaint was gonna be like, I feel like the movie was a lot more than The Winter Soldier.
No, like the whole thing is like the movie is trying to make it a big reveal that Bucky is the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So if you have people looking it up beforehand, it's not really going to be a big reveal.
And it was a big reveal for me because I obviously didn't look it up. But even then, I was more, worked up with Nick Fury being alive. Hydra. Hydra.
Well, I mean, at the time, you didn't even know about Hydra when that was revealed. The Bucky reveal came
Oh,
first.
yeah. Still, I mean, everything just came down all at once. I don't know any better name that they could have given this movie. I don't know.
But yeah, I really appreciate this movie. I think this is the moment when Captain America became a lot of people's favorite superhero because like the whole the whole story arc here of like integrity versus ideology is a really good one. Um, I also I really liked the storyline of like you know they want to punish people for crimes that they haven't even committed yet, and how that's really not fair. It's not justice.
That is morally wrong.
Unf- yeah. Unfortunately, the MCU will try to do this storyline again
But
later
fail at
on.
it.
Well, it's more that I'm annoyed that they did it twice.
They liked it so much they made it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Is it just one other movie? Is it Civil War?
It's a TV show that does it.
Oh, a whole TV show? Wow.
But yeah, I think this movie is pretty great, all things considered. You've got some interesting, stuff here with Cap being from the 40s and like how he plays 40s music on his stereo, how he's not really tried to go out with anyone since the 40s either.
I like he has vinyl.
I also really liked that he had like keeps like a little book to keep record of things that he needs to like watch and listen to and see and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice that he actually has and uses a cell phone? That's gotta be weird coming from someone in the 40s.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was like, wow.
He's like, the internet. Yeah, that's really helpful.
I mean, when you missed so much, the internet can really get you caught up.
Yeah, if you can figure out how to use it. But yeah, fight scene spectacular. Storytelling fantastic. I love the scene, like the sequence at the beginning where they're attacking the ship. Um, Wonderfully shot. Kind of gives me some like paranoia thriller vibes, like 70s paranoia thriller.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I like one
The
scene where
sco-
he just knocks someone into a door and he found someone else.
the score is also pretty great, especially like the Winter Soldier theme itself, because like it I don't know what instrument they're using, but it almost sounds like screaming at some points. And I think that's really fitting for the Winter Soldier because like he's like trapped in this like brainwashed state.
God, that must be hell.
Yeah. So Arnim Zola coming back, like we get the whole reveal of like Operation Paperclip, and that Shield basically recruited him,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that was how Hydra managed to survive. So yeah,
So
that's a yikes. Go on ahead.
yeah, like just that entire scene of where that scientist that we saw in the first movie, he is now artificial intelligence.
Yeah, like I think that's really really cool that they were able to do that in like I think they said it was like the 70s when they did that.
Holy shit. So what so did the artificial intelligence die?
Well, yes and no.
Wait, can I guess? Um
Go ahead.
Either it got blown up when Shield tried to arrive, or after the fact, someone just deleted all the mainframes. But before it fully died, it moved itself offshore to somewhere else.
Okay, you're completely wrong.
Oh shit! So first of all, how did
Okay.
it die?
Okay, so there's this copy of it which did die.
Wait, that's a copy.
Yeah, there is one other copy stored somewhere else.
Oh wow, that changes fucking everything.
You would think so, but they literally only reference it once, much later, and it's not what you'd expect.
So, if I'm gonna guess, is a lot lackluster.
Yeah, it doesn't make it okay. For the story that it is telling, it is a pretty big deal, but in terms of like the greater MCU, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay,
Unless they reference it again, which they very well could.
then
Um,
it's a big deal again. Hooray!
but yeah, Hydra, I don't know what the state of Hydra is now in the present day MCU because I never finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hmm. Hydra is such an
So,
interesting concept. Um, Cut off one head to grow up, to grow back up. And I thought, we seen the end of, well, you would think you'd see the end of Hydra at Captain America. They, either way, you know, Captain America destroyed a lot of Hydra's assets, and then time. I know you kept saying Hydra will appear, but I mean, I never knew what way, and this is the way? Holy shit.
yeah, it got crazy. I also want to talk about Peggy. I did mention in our first Captain America episode that she would come back.
Yeah, when I saw this scene, I remember you saying that she would come back.
Yeah. And like that's a very gut-wrenching scene, especially like when you figure out that she's developed like some kind of amnesia. Um
Could be Alzheimer's.
I don't think it doesn't seem like Alzheimer's to me because like people with Alzheimer's, they tend to forget things that they've known their entire lives, whereas like Peggy seems to not like Peggy's memories like she seems mostly intact except for her short-term memory.
That makes sense, yeah. I mean, I just like how it was implied that she's the one that started Shield.
Yeah, she helped found Shield, and we will go more into that because there is the Agent Carter show, which we'll be watching in conjunction with Agents of Shield.
Hmm. What is Agent Carter anyway?
It's a show. I just told you.
Okay, I guess I should say, who is Agent Carter?
Peggy.
Okay, that's so. This show takes place in the past, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So will
Yeah.
this
Back
also
when
have what is his name? Howard Stark or whatever?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay. I mean, I would assume that he was probably one of the first people in the new Shield or new old Shield.
Yeah. Basically, they've mentioned this acronym a couple of times, but there's the SSR, which is the Strategic Scientific Reserve, that basically evolved into Shield.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first time we see Shield is in Iron Man 1, right?
Uh, did it? Yes. I mean, we see Phil Coulson, and Phil Coulson references Shield, and then Nick Fury shows up and references Shield again.
It's just so weird like that. Actually, I want to ask this. Was Shield in the original comics?
I can't remember. It's been so long since I've read Marvel comics.
Huh.
But I want to say yes.
Okay. Oh, we also have more hologram figures that I want to ask about. Um, who were those people anyway? The one
The World Security Council, they're kind of like in charge of overseeing SHIELD and holding SHIELD accountable.
is that the same people that we saw in Avengers 1?
Yes.
Okay. Are they dead now?
I mean, no.
Hmm.
I think maybe a couple of them are, but I don't think they all died.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just wondering if that name tag thing actually killed.
Yeah, I mean, either way, if they did die, it was never explicitly confirmed. And
Hmm.
I don't recall ever seeing them again. They didn't really play that big of a role because their main role was just like holding Shield accountable for shit.
Also,
But
the
yeah,
more I watch this series, the more this term comes to mind. Property damage, the series.
yeah. But so a character we've neglected to talk about much
Hmm.
is Sam Wilson, the Falcon,
Oh yeah,
played by Anthony Mackie. He's pretty damn good.
he is
Definitely
definitely.
yeah, definitely a skilled fighter, but obviously he doesn't have shield training, so he's nowhere near as good as Cap or Black Widow, who also has some other training on top of shield training. Um, but yeah, he's pretty good. Former military,
How did he get the suit?
fantastic. He made it.
Damn, he made that.
Yeah,
Damn. I mean, the ability to fly just with that, I mean, that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, those wings are impressive.
And I do hope we get to see more of him.
Oh, we do. Um, but yeah, like I think it was a genius move to use carbon fiber for the wings instead of metal because like carbon fiber is a lot lighter.
Yeah, you would need a more of a lightweight material if you want to fly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this movie it's pretty good. I think it's definitely I don't know. I'd probably say it's better than all of the other MCU movies we've covered so far.
Say so, yeah. I think on terms of storytelling, this had a lot to say, and it was all really good.
Yeah, like the whole. Again, I said it earlier, but the whole thing of like integrity versus ideology really is the central focus of this story, and they do it really well. I think this is probably why Captain America, like, why people love Captain America all across the world,
Hmm.
even if they like aren't from the United States or don't particularly care much for the United States. Because like Steve Rogers, he stands for what America should stand for.
He stands for what is right.
Yeah,
And ever since the
and
first
and
movie,
some
that's really what he stood for.
yeah, and sometimes that means going. Sometimes that means going against the people who are giving you orders, questioning everything, and actively defying them. Something else I do want to point out
Hmm.
in this movie before we get to the end, they name dropped a specific character, and I want you to remember this name.
Okay.
Stephen Strange.
And wait, strange?
Yes.
I already know where this is going.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, go ahead.
when do they name drop him exactly?
So you remember that scene where they capture this one Hydra guy and they bring him up onto a roof and they're like asking him what what Zola's algorithm does.
Hmm.
This is like also where like Falcon's suit is revealed.
Yeah, I remember, it's the same one where Captain America is like, no, no, I can't just throw you off a roof. Yeah, that's why I have her.
Yeah. That was the scene where they revealed it. But where the name was
Did
dropped.
did Strange make the neural pathway?
No, like Zola's algorithm flagged Stephen Strange.
Oh, okay.
Because reminder, it analyzes people's pasts to predict their future.
Huh. So he's not a superhero, but that is so good. The algorithm is so good that it already knew that he was going to be one.
But yeah, I think. Do you have anything else that you would like to say regarding this movie?
No, it's a bit short based on how much praise we've actually said to it, but I feel like there's not much else to say.
Yeah, for real. I think this is a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic action movie, even if you don't like superheroes, because like if you took out all the superhero stuff, you're still left with a pretty damn good action movie.
Hmm. Like,
And not every superhero movie needs to be like that, but this one's like especially great because you can do that as well.
yeah, I never, like, grew up, I never liked, superhero movies. Coming back to watch Marvel, I don't know, I'm trying to reconsider, though. I think, I don't know, it's hard to know if Marvel is an exception, and we start covering DC, I'm like, God, what the hell am I watching? Or,
I really think you'll enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because, like, it's less superhero focused.
and more story plot heavy.
It's more of like the characters don't really have much. Most of the characters don't really have powers at all.
Because it's not, I mean, you can barely call it a superhero show. It's just government agents.
Yeah, like pretty much. It's just government agents. Now, that being said, there are characters with powers who show up.
Like Hawkeye, isn't he still part of Shield?
I mean, yes, he's still part of S.H.I.E.L.D., but he also doesn't have powers.
True, though with that bow, I mean, might as well.
Yeah, he just happens to be the greatest archer in the world, but he doesn't have powers.
Hmm.
But yeah, do you have anything left that you would like to say regarding this movie?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I'm a goddamn idiot.
You didn't get the critic reviews?
Yeah, I never looked them up, and I am doing it now. Uh, so I guess we gotta say some stuff to fill the space, which is what I'm doing right now while I'm
Captain
searching this up.
America is good.
Specimen. Okay, so IMDb gives this movie a 7.8 out of 10 too much water. Um, Rotten Tomatoes gives it 90%, and 85% of Google users like the movie.
Okay, I guess I'll begin. Eight 8.9.
Yeah, so funny thing, I premeditated the exact same score.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm also giving this movie an 8.9. I can't really say anything that I don't particularly like about it, other than the fact that the title is, it's kind of spoils the big reveal that they wanted to do midway through.
And to be fair, it's not like they planned it either. Like, no one actually thought that this would happen. Hello?
I mean,
Okay.
it's common sense to assume that if you put something in the title of a movie, people are going to look it up.
No, I mean the other part where if when people look it up, there's going to be blatant spoilers just out in the open.
Yeah, like they had to know that was going to happen.
Did they?
I mean, if you look up the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes is gonna pop up because that's who the Winter Soldier is. There's not really a way around it.
Anyway.
But yeah, so there's that. There's also some like memes about how Nick Fury said don't trust anyone, and then he immediately trusts a Russian spy who is like had read like on her ledger and is known to have like a shaky history, and some random guy he met while jogging one day.
Yeah. But
Don't trust anyone except these two people for some reason.
wasn't one of these things he said like one of the people that he almost trusted was turned down the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, because peace isn't an achievement, it's a responsibility.
This is, and then he later, right after, said, "This is why I don't trust people."
But yeah, I think that's just about everything. So, like I said earlier, I don't know where my notebook is. Never mind, I remember what they were. Okay, so like I said earlier, you can join us next week for Doug Day Season 1 and Star vs. the Forces of Evil Season 3. You can join us next month for Guardians of the Galaxy. And with that being said, I've been Avery, that's been Lily, and we'll be seeing you